Hey, man.
Chris Angel sucks. Go ahead. I just wanted to sneak it in there.
Okay, cool. Have you ever heard of the Lost Dutchman Mine?
Why do you do every time you introduce a topic, you go, have you ever heard of glitter?
I mean,
Every time, dude.
You don't know the
you
story.
Go, have you ever heard of Tommy Fitz?
I'm excited to be here.
Okay.
I'm just happy to be here.
80 people died.
Before it got into packaging, you could eat as much candy as you wanted.
That's not true.
This is the story that kind of catapulted this into a big deal. My mother-in-law thought we were going to get killed by the cartel.
That actually is true why we had to stop.
It's the most bodacious horse I've ever seen in my life. I can say that. That's not bad.
Things I learned last night. So the Lost Dutchman Mine.
The Lost Dutchman Mine.
It sounds like a roller coaster at like a theme park.
It really does, actually. No.
And like at the end, there's like a flying Dutchman that like, you know the rides where like something comes down and then you dip?
Which I want you to actually, could you describe the Flying Dutchman to me without using SpongeBob? Like, what does the Flying Dutchman look like?
Well, he looks like...
Or just any Dutchman.
There's a character in a animated series.
No, I don't want you to use that one. If you picture a Flying Dutchman without the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob, what does that Dutchman look like?
Okay, well, he's got wooden shoes, and he's got like you know the Dutch little windmills. That's what he's got on his back as a propeller. It's a Flying Dutchman.
I thought when you said the windmills,
and he's wearing those like
lederhosen.
Yeah. I was getting there. Lederhosen.
Yeah. Well,
I had some of those in RuneScape.
What's his face?
They did like a little special event thing, and
Did you watch the RuneScape videos I sent you the other night?
No, I'd already seen them.
Of that kid getting 99. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It was like a reality show.
No. It was in the game. He was playing the game, and I don't know. Like, he had to line this up. Like, he got himself up to where he was like one hit away from 99 in like every stat.
Okay.
And he was like going through town, maxing out each stat. And so, and like, he was like live streaming it.
That's kind of cool.
So it was like back to
that.
back hitting 99s.
I love that.
And everyone was like, oh! I don't think he told everyone on the stream that he was like about to hit 99
That's
and everything.
super cool that he did that.
And so it's just boom, 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 boom. It was a fun watch. You should go back into the 200 TikTok videos you haven't watched that I sent you. It's in there somewhere.
Me and Reagan lay in bed at night, and we watch all the things that you sent.
Yeah, I know. You've told me this.
We get there, and I go, oh, well, it's time to catch up on Tim's TikToks. It's our favorite show.
Yeah, Tim Talks. I'm
Anyway,
gonna buy the app.
I'm going to go watch that video because I want to cheer on that kid.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's an exciting
I had
moment.
99 fletching.
Good for you.
It's a skill cape.
What even is fletching, though?
Fletching is where you make bows and arrows.
Oh, interesting.
Fletching.
So you could make a really good bow and arrow. You just couldn't use it.
I had pretty good archery skills too.
But not as good as make archery skills.
Not as good as making it. Yeah. Got super rich off that though. So I was more of a businessman in the game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You know what they say?
And then they came out with the Grand Exchange, ruined my entire business model because the entire thing kind of was a scam when you think about it. You know, like I saw a really funny RuneScape post. This is so inside lingo, but I saw a really funny post that was like, when I was 13, I was manipulated by a 30-year-old man on RuneScape to mine pure essence for 30 GP. They were like, I was in a slave cult mining.
That was the beauty of all of like early 2000s online games, like Neopets, RuneScape,
Toontown.
Club Penguin, all of them. It was old men scamming kids into getting them a lot of points.
Not old men, not like old guys.
Yeah,
like,
I guess. Well, I
people
mean, grown
our
adults,
age.
grown adults.
And like they were making money on it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a business for everything.
I bought gold coins.
Do you think people are doing that now in like Fortnite and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
You should get into that.
Absolutely. No, I bought like 1 million gold coins for like $60 one time. Or 3 million or whatever it was. Whatever the exchange was.
Whatever the exchange rate. Yeah. Just like
that's what I got it for, like one of my Christmas gifts. I asked, hey, can you buy me gold coins in RuneScape?
Yeah. Where can I buy that?
And my dad did it and then said, son, this is the last time we're going to do anything like this. And he sat me down and had a really serious talk where he said, we would love for you to go back to college.
We've been doing this for you for too long. We're not going to.
Son, you got to earn 3 million coins in the game.
And that's when you got 99 fletching.
Really, it was, I was like, okay, I'll show you.
All right, this is a very similar situation. The Lost Dutchman Mine.
That was 10 minutes on RuneScape. I kept waiting for you to switch back to the Dutchman, and you kept doing RuneScape stuff. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
The Lost Dutchman Mine is a very similar concept.
Oh, yeah, mining is involved.
Yeah. So this is the story, maybe legend is a better word, but it's the most well-known Dutchman story. It's the most well-known lost mine in existence. I don't know how many lost mines you've ever heard of, but
I've not.
Is
it just a mine that we don't know where it is?
Kinda.
Didn't know where it was. We found it.
Let me paint the picture for you.
Okay.
There was a man named Jacob Waltz who lived in the 1800s, died in like 1890 something. And in the 1840s, he had this weird habit that popped up.
We're like the last people who will have a 1 in our birth year.
Yeah, we are.
The beginning.
Yeah, we're legendary.
Like, that's a little crazy to think about, actually.
Our grandkids will write papers about it in literature class.
And be like, my grandpa's birthday is 1994.
Yeah.
And people are like, holy crap, he's a goblin. And we'll have to like go to their class. Oh, that's going to suck, dude.
Yeah.
Especially because we're like 90s kids. So we're like going to outlive everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be like, he was born and there was no brain chips, and they're all dumber than us.
And they're all gonna go ha ha ha, because that's how they laugh in the future. The brain chips messed up the humor part. And they go. They don't know how to do that anymore.
Did you know that the Tough Mudder has like an electric?
What? Never mind. Don't want to know what you just said. So Jacob Waltz died in 1892.
Jacob Waltz, yeah. In the 1840s, he had this weird habit that popped up out of nowhere, and everyone thought was strange.
Okay.
Take a guess. What do you think it is?
I don't know. What is it?
He paid only in gold nuggets for everything. And so everyone's
gold nuggets.
Yeah.
Like he went mining for gold.
Yeah, but he didn't like refine it. And so it wasn't worth as much. It was just raw gold nuggets.
Okay.
And he did this for the rest of his life. Just paid for everything in gold nuggets. And everyone's like, well, here's Jacob Waltz waltzing in with his gold nuggets.
But it was fool's gold.
Who knows?
Okay.
We don't know. What we know is he's paying in golden nuggets.
Okay.
And then he did your thing. On his deathbed, he pulled his son in and said, hey, there's this mine.
There's a mine.
And he's Dutch, right? There's this mine that I found. It has got a lot of gold in it.
That's what we've been living off of.
Yeah. And then he tells them how to find it. But he doesn't give very good directions.
Because he's like dying. He's like, you gotta go find it. It's It took Tim a second to realize the joke I was making, and I wasn't proud of that one.
Jeez. Yeah, just like that, actually. And so his son goes trying to find the mine, never finds the mine. But he tells some people about it.
He never finds it?
Yeah. He tells some people about it, and
now it's like a legend. It's out there.
That there's this mine. And so it's supposedly lost in the Superstition Mountains, which I don't know if you've heard of.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, they're in Arizona, north of Phoenix.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
This is in the United States?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I guess that's a good point.
Let's go find some gold.
Well, here's the deal. It's become a big deal because, starting really in like the 1890s, people started trying to find this mine. Word started to spread pretty rapidly. People started searching for them. And it's shrouded in mystery because a lot of people who've tried to find the mine have mysteriously been murdered.
Okay.
For example, there was...
there was a YouTuber who was looking for this mine.
Are you serious?
Yeah, right?
No.
Different thing?
I don't know of a YouTuber who's been looking for this mine. Do you?
Maybe it wasn't this mine, but there was a YouTuber who was searching for something in the desert.
Yeah.
And was had been looking for it for many years. It's shaped like an M. There's hold on, wait.
For mine?
There's like a cave that has the cave entrance looks like an M. And you'll have to look it up. Just Google it. You have a computer in front of you. Cave entrance M shape. It'll pull it up, I promise. And so this YouTuber has documented he found this cave. He's got pictures. He was showing a video and all that stuff.
The M cave of Kenny Veach.
Yeah. And then he's been missing. He's gone.
Interesting. Well, it's probably...
That's a completely different topic.
Yeah.
But look into that later.
It's probably a very similar situation that's happening here.
Where are people going?
Well, here's the story. This is the story that kind of catapulted this into a big deal. In 1931, a treasure hunter, who I don't know if that was his career or if that was just like a hobby or something.
Can you put that on your LinkedIn? Is that an option? Treasure hunter?
You can put anything in your LinkedIn.
All right, I'll do it.
Add it. Treasure hunter Adolph Ruth. It's 1931. Early.
You know what? I bet Discovery Channel would give us a lot of money to be treasure hunters. Or History Channel.
Both of them would. Let's pitch a show.
Treasure hunters.
We might be on to something here. Okay, no. So this guy.
Treasured friends.
What if we're
Treasure Island?
What if we're it's treasure hunters, but we're hunting for treasure, but we can only eat animals that we hunted ourselves on the hunt, and so we're hunting.
We're also hunting.
We're in a duck blind.
You and I are
about the treasure
starving. You and I have not shot or caught anything. You and me.
We haven't eaten weeks.
The most outdoor men that I know.
But guess what? We caught the Lost Dutchman's treasure.
Drinking our own pee. Bear Grylls style. And we're like, we're going to find that treasure. And we go, we found it. We found it. And we're showing the cameraman, it's a pile of rocks.
It's literal.
And we're like, look at all this gold.
Look at all this gold we found.
Because we're like delusional. And then Discovery's like, we can't release this footage. We actually have to burn this footage because we've ruined these two men's lives.
Ruined these people's lives.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm down for that though.
So Adolph Ruth, he was a treasure hunter and he went in search of the Lost Dutchman Mine.
Okay.
Told his family about it. Was like, I'm going up to the Superstition Mountains. And they were like, we don't know if that's some place you should go, just based on the name. But he did it anyways. And he disappeared. Didn't come home. 2 months later, his body was found without his head. And a month after that, they found his head with 2 bullet holes in it, 2 miles away.
What?
So a little obscure, a little strange.
Okay.
And that hit the news, and everyone was like, wait, there's a treasure up there?
That's what they got out of it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone heard about this murder, and like the subtext of the murder was like looking for treasure, and everyone was like, "Oh, I'll go." It's a lot more.
They can't murder all of us.
If we just take the whole town, all 400 of us, and we march into the mountains,
that's kind. I mean, they can't take us all.
What are they gonna do? Yeah. Well, they did. So Over the next few years, tons of people started going searching for this mine.
Okay.
Tons of people died.
Tons of people.
A lot of them.
When you say tons of people, how many are we talking?
I mean, 80-ish.
80 people died?
Yeah. Most of these
80
deaths,
people died.
Yes.
Accidental falls.
Most of the deaths were falling off of cliffs or getting lost and dying of starvation or heat exhaustion, where most of the deaths were ruled as.
Okay.
A handful were ruled as suicides, which is strange. That they're like, I'm going to go find this treasure and then
I'm going to quit.
I couldn't find the treasure. I can't go back to my, which I mean, I don't know, maybe depending on how confident they were when they left.
I mean, if they already spent the money,
I mean, there's a chance, I guess.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. If you like this one, or if you don't like this one, there's so many other ones. All right, if you're halfway through this one and you're like, I hate this, I want out, go check out the Richmond TV Vigilante. It's an episode we did a while ago. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but one morning in Richmond, Virginia, these people wake up with just TVs on their front porch. No idea where they came from until one person checked their Ring doorbell footage and got a decent surprise. So Richmond TV Vigilante is a great episode if you're going to go check that out later. But for now, back to this one.
But there was a handful that were ruled suicides that were, it's strange that it was ruled because those were like multiple gunshot wounds.
Suspicious.
And so
there were multiple gunshot wounds?
Yeah. Like Adolf's was
two,
and it was legitimately like legally classified as a suicide, which is
and then he
pretty unlikely.
Cut his own head off?
Yeah. I think the official report is shot himself in the head twice, and then an animal took his head somewhere else. An animal happened upon him and was like, ooh, dibs on that head. I don't know.
You should laugh more when you're talking about this. This is great for this.
It's 100 years ago.
Okay.
So it's a
his grandkids just wrote a paper about it though. So
for this assignment, we're supposed to interview our grandpa about what it was like living in 1930, and I can't do that because
1930 was a rough time. So, okay. 80 people have died looking for this.
Died looking for it. And so it's become pretty famous.
The camera crew, they can't kill us. Right?
So there's another layer that was discovered into this story shortly after Adolf Ruth. And that's that there was a Mexican family that allegedly owned this mine named the Peraltas. They had a ranch in the Superstition Mountains.
Okay.
And the Peraltas were like miners.
Yeah.
In that mine. And waltzed in there and was like gold and would sneak gold out of the mine. And so it wasn't his. But because of the gold rush and the fact that they're in the middle of nowhere, the Peraltas kind of kept it as like a hidden mine on their land. Like they didn't want it to be obvious where it was. They tried to hide this mine. And so there's allegedly this map that the Peraltas owned to lead anyone in the family to their mine. And they call them the Peralta Stones. And we have these. These are in a museum, in the Superstition Museum, which is the museum in the Superstition Mountains. It's not a museum named after superstition. It's all about the mountains. Okay. But also they have these weird stones with the map.
And these are directions.
This is supposed to be a map to
the Latin Heart, the Priest and Horse map.
Yeah.
That's a map?
So here's another
trail maps.
I've got like a diagram that illustrates it. So here's what we're looking at here. They're like these like red terracotta stones that have just been kind of scribbled all over.
Okay.
Really is what it looks like. So one of them literally just says Don. And that's why these have been ascribed to the Peraltas, because the guy's name was Don Peralta. And so everyone's like, oh, this is Don Peralta's stones.
Any relation to Jake Peralta?
Yeah, the great grandpa.
Okay.
And then above that is the front side of the Dawn stone has
Scribbles and
a bunch of scribbles and lines.
numbers.
Some numbers. It looks
2 equals 3 minus donut minus 18 equals 7.
Yeah. So this is clearly someone who doesn't know math. And then there's another stone on the other end.
This
here.
reminds me a lot of a door I've seen.
Where does the door go?
No, the door.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? The door.
I'm talking about Monsters, Inc.
Oh, I'm talking about the door with a bunch of scribbles on it that we've spent 3 days in our Discord deciphering. And you're talking about
door.
Monsters, Inc.? Yeah, I'm talking about Todd's door.
Man, that door
Is weird.
Yeah. So no, not that. If you're not
It
in the
says
Discord,
1847 in the heart. Yeah, if you're not in the Discord, you should be. Oh,
Yeah, there's a door.
10 degree. The
Yeah.
degree symbol.
oh, is
No,
that what you
I
think
don't-
that is? That's something no one's ever said, but that's an interesting theory.
That's interesting.
So,
okay.
so yeah, let me continue describing this for our listeners. The other stone, there's a front and back picture here, and so the front of it says "Esta veradas es peligrosa, yo boy 18." Lugares.
I want you to
busca el
know,
mapa,
listener, that my
busca
face-
el corazón, but they spelled corazón wrong.
As this guy is speaking, clearly never taken a Spanish class in his life.
I've
Just
done
going for
Duolingo.
it so confidently.
I've done Duolingo. Duolingo.
You can't even say the app,
Duolingo.
dude. Maybe chill out.
So it's a
They've
Spanish.
got some drawings. You got to
and
see.
then-
Don't
and
try.
then-
Quit trying to spend 5 minutes to just look it up, folks.
Well, no, this is important.
Link to it
This
in the
is important.
description.
There is
Add a
there's-
link to this image.
Okay.
Cut them off.
There's a
Connor,
witch.
Cut to the next. There's not a witch.
Yes, there is. There's a
That's
witch
a
with
priest.
a cross. Yeah, it's a witch. There's a
Okay.
witch with a cross shaking a bunch of ingredients out of the cross. And then there's a horse next to a river. And horse is also spelled wrong. And the horse has... it's the most bodacious horse I've ever seen in my life. I can say that. That's not bad.
Tim describing these images is the worst moment of our entire podcast.
Okay, but then there's a middle one that
Don't talk
has
about the horse's butt that way.
There's a middle one that's got a heart carved out of it.
No, it's not. That's where
And
the
there's-
butt. That's the butt. That's what the horse sat
They
down.
got the butt carved out of it. No, yeah, the
The
other
heart
one.
says 1847 and it says 10, and I think that's a degree sign because
Yeah.
why would they make a 0? You know what I'm
Like
saying?
that, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and there's a dagger on it, a bunch of other squiggly lines, but then the heart
It's
is
carved
a
out of
two-sided
it.
heart. You can put the heart in, and you can switch directions of it, and it lines up with the map allegedly.
Oh,
one
that's
side of it does.
so weird. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
What?
and so the idea is that you can flip it over, and it's the zoom in, and so you're looking for the corazon. Which is the heart. And so there's something that I guess looks somewhat like a heart that you're trying to find. And once you find it, the map leads you to that, and then you flip it over and you find,
Because look, there's a heart on that one.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And so
dude, we could find this.
that's what a lot of people say. And then they die. And so these are one of the biggest things that people have clung to.
I'm willing
say,
to go down. I'm gonna die.
This is how you get to the mine.
Oh, dude, we're gonna find this thing.
Here's the thing, though. I don't feel like these are quality map. Like, nothing about this map makes any sense.
Yeah, to you and I. Right?
Okay, what are you trying to say here?
I'm saying that if you were in the family, you
If
would
you
understand
knew.
the maps.
Yeah, maybe there's a lot of familial symbolism in here.
Right.
Yeah,
Like we could make a secret map that only TILLN listeners would understand.
that's a good point, actually.
You know?
Should we do that? Should
Yeah,
we like
once we find the
geocache
mine.
something?
Once we find the mine.
We'll make a map for our.
Well, we got to do this
for our
soon
patron
because,
supporters.
dude, I can't. People are just. We got to go on our little TILLN road trip soon because people are destroying the things we talk about.
It's actually true.
The Georgia Guidestones are gone.
They got blown up. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm mad about that.
The queen is
The
gone.
queen is gone because we talked about her. Bree's next.
Gosh. And so, long story short, a lot of people have started looking through these maps
Okay.
and deduced that the horse is the key, and
Okay.
which seems strange. It seems like the heart's the bigger deal, but they've deduced that the horse is the key, and the horse tells them that it is this mountain in the Superstition mountain range, Mount Superstition. And
Is this national park though?
yes,
So you can't just walk in there.
I mean you just pay your entry fee, and you can
Okay.
walk around anywhere. Most national parks you can do whatever you want in. It's just the Grand Canyon that they're weird about, and even the Grand Canyon, like once you're in, you're in. Imagine if
Okay.
airports were like that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't know why you said that, but that's okay.
This
that
is-
sounds like you're going to crime later.
a lot of people think that this looks just like a horse.
No, a lot of people. Is it a lot of blind people? What are you talking about?
No,
This looks
okay, so-
nothing like a horse.
So what they're saying is
I
that
don't
this
see a horse
mountain
here. I
has-
see like a weird face though in the middle.
What?
You don't see that face?
Oh, I do kind of see it. What they say is that this mountain has 4 canyons coming off the side of it. So it's
Okay.
like 4 legs of a horse. And then the tail of the horse allegedly points to where the treasure is. And so if you follow that tail that's wrapping around, that's where the treasure is. And then you use the heart map
Okay.
to get
What
to.
does this mean in English?
So here's what this says.
Okay.
So first, the one that says dawn translates to dawn. Next.
My patience is just. I'm almost there, dude.
The next one is the horse. We'll talk about the horse.
Okay.
The horse says, so on the left, it's pointing at this river thing, and it says the horse of Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And then on the right of the horse, it says, I graze north of the river.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So there's some horse.
Is that where that mountain range is?
I don't know, actually. Well, let's take a look at the
What
map.
does the other one say though? Hold on. Wait.
Okay, so the other one says, and this one is the one with the witch shaking out the cross.
Yeah.
This one says, this Beretta is dangerous. I boy 18 places. Look for the map. Look for the heart.
Okay, so we've got the map and the heart.
Yeah. And it's interesting because 18 places.
Okay, wait, 18 is over
comes
here.
up a few times.
18's over there.
18's over there. 18's in the heart. 18's on this one. 18 comes up a lot.
Well,
And it's-
18's in the heart because it's 1847, Tim.
Well, there's a theory.
Is that not the year?
A lot of people say it's the year, but there's a theory that those are mile markers. And so each of the
Okay.
mile marker is mile marker 18. Mile marker
I feel like
4,
this is
mile
about
marker
to be a
7.
treasure hunting podcast that we do.
We about to get it. Treasure I hunted last night.
Treasure I hunted last night? I don't know if that flows as well as...
It's still TILLN. It's just in the middle. You gotta huff.
I don't know. Maybe we should just make it things I hunted last night. It gives it a little more broader of a... There's more directions to go for season 2, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just in case we have to.
In case we just shift to people. Anyway, we're bounty hunters one season.
Can you imagine if we became bounty hunters?
Oh, dude.
So
Can you imagine if we became bounty hunters, though? Tim, look me in the eyes.
yeah, he's a bounty hunter. It's the team.
Can you imagine? 2 gallons of tea.
Yeah, I've just got my tea and my bounty.
That's a
My
callback.
bounty.
Hey, do you remember what the topic was of the episode that we lost?
Of course, I remember the topic of the episode that we lost. Do you not?
I don't remember it. So you could do it again, is what I'm saying.
No, I can't. It's still in the news.
What? No, not the episode we couldn't release, which is available to our Patreon supporters. I'm saying the episode that we lost way back when when we first started doing video and audio recording, and someone didn't record the audio.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember, but do we have those files somewhere? The video files?
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, let's watch the video.
And like what? Overdub it?
Read our mouths. We'll figure it out. If we watch me say what it is, I'm sure we could figure out what I said.
Okay. Well, we do have a lot. We have 2 lost episodes then. One that we've like literally lost because of production stuff. And then 2, one that we could not put out, but it's available to our Patreon supporters.
And now 3, because this one's about
because we're going to get murdered. Hey, it's me again. Thanks for being here for this episode. If you like what we're doing, it does cost us money to do this. And so just think about that. That's it. I'm kidding. No, we have Patreon supporters, and it really helps us to make this show possible. Honestly, we're so grateful for everyone who listens to the show, but there's people who want to make more of it happen, and so they financially support the show, and you get a lot back for it. You get our private Discord where we chat every day. We're hanging out and just getting to bond and hang out. We also do live Zoom hangouts for our Patreon supporters. You get exclusive merch. It's a good time. There's a lot in it for you, and it's a lot in it for us because we get to know you better. You're not just a number in a stat board or whatever, but you're our friends and we appreciate you a lot. So consider doing that. If not, then you can listen to this dumb little ad because that's how we're going to get money from you. We're going to leech from you either way. We're going to get paid. We're in this for the cold hard cash, baby. Anyway, here's an ad.
How do they get it though? I realized I forgot to put a CTA in mine.
Oh, dang,
you were doing
gummit.
That. Yeah.
They can text TILLN to 66866.
Thanks, Jared. Okay. I'm looking through the map of the Superstition Mountains, and I'm not seeing a river. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's very.
Look, why is it? It has the Rio on there.
Yeah. They're definitely talking about a river, but like looking at the map,
I graze north of the river.
And here's the deal: it's the middle of Arizona, and it's been 100 years, and so like there could have been a river there before we did the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, just throw it in the Wayback Machine.
Oh, you're right. See
what it looked like back then. Okay, so give an aerial map of this place
of the Superstition Mountains.
Yeah.
Well, there is a salt river up north of it. Ooh, right next to Tortilla Flat.
And Guacamole Valley. What are you talking about right now?
I'll show you. So here's a map straight from Google Maps.
Okay, yeah, the Salt River.
The Salt River's up there.
I graze north of the river.
Yeah. It might be the Salt River.
It's in these mountains right here.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's where everyone's problem is they're looking at the...
Unless it's like in this area right over here. You know what I'm saying? They're all looking right there because they're idiots. Oh, we're talking about El Capitan right now? Is that the same one?
From like Mac?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
This is in Arizona.
Okay.
I thought all that was in California.
Yeah, I think it is too. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe it is north of the river up there.
I don't know. The map literally says, what does it say? I dwell north of the river?
I graze. I graze north of the river. Here's the thing, though. This map is... no one... there's no real connection to the mine.
Sure.
Nothing about this map says here's where to find the gold.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of weird scribbles and allegedly a mine.
This could all just be a kid chiseled this into. Yeah.
This could be part of the game.
Is that a knife on that side?
Yeah, there's a knife on that. It could be completely unrelated.
I don't know. There's a lot of detail in that priest, though.
The one thing that people say to be like, oh, it's talking about the gold is those donuts. They're saying that's the symbol for gold, which I don't know if it is. I think it's just a donut.
Okay.
It does say 1867 underneath the priest.
No, it says 1847 underneath.
You sure it's a 4?
100%.
Maybe you're right. Anyways, so this whole thing, this could be related to the gold.
Okay.
It could not. But people have used it to try to find where this is located. Here's the thing, though. The Peraltas, there's no evidence of a Peralta family living in the area. The only evidence that we can find of a Peralta family of Mexican descent is in Oakland, California. They were ranchers. But that's pretty far from here. These clay tablets have been ascribed to them, but we don't really know where they came from or who found them or why. And so this connection
is pretty loose.
It's very, very loose. And there's not really a good reason for us to believe that it's connected to it other than the fact that it's part of the legend. And some people say it is. There's another story, though, of a guy named Dr. Thorne, who was a army doctor who allegedly was kidnapped by the Apache tribe in the 1940s. And they said someone in our tribe is sick. And so he nursed them back to health. And as payment for the work, they blindfolded him and they drove
let him loose in the mine. They're like, whatever you grab is yours. Like those, like you ever been to like a middle school fundraiser event and they've got that little wind tunnel with all the dollar bills in it and you just got to grab as much as you can. They're like, we're going to put you in our gold mine that we have and you just grab whatever you can. And then he got bit by a snake because he couldn't see. Also, it's dark in the mine. No need to blindfold him.
So they blindfolded him and they took him around the desert for hours, like we did in college with people. We would tie them up and drive them around.
Yeah, so they wouldn't know where they were.
Yeah, and so they did that thing, took them around town, took them to the mine, and they were like, "Ta-da! We have a mine of gold."
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Gold mine. And then they're like, "You can have some gold, whatever you can carry, as payment for your services." And so, and then he grabbed a bunch of stuff, as much as he could carry, and they blindfolded him back up and took him away.
And he just got to hold it.
He's just carried a bunch of gold through the desert blindfolded. It was like in the basement all along. Like it wasn't even that far away.
Yeah.
They just turned the heat up really high in the house.
Made him walk back and forth. How many laps in their living room did he do?
And so he's carried the gold, and then gets back out. Like they get back to the tribal lands, and then they let him go. And then he goes home and he tells everyone, and he's like, "Look at all the gold that they gave me." And everyone's like, "Wow, this is a crazy story. We don't believe it, but you do have gold, so maybe it's true."
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Tell us where you found it." And he's like,
"Well,
I don't know. They blindfolded me." And he showed no.
What year is this?
This is 1840s.
Okay.
And he showed no interest.
The 1840s.
Yeah. No, 1940s. Sorry,
okay, I was 1940s.
Gonna say. He showed no desire to try to find this actual.
He's like, "I got what I wanted."
Yeah, he's like, "I got some gold. I don't need more. I'm a content man." Again, the veracity of this story can be called into question.
Okay.
Because there's no record of a guy named Dr. Thorne in the U.S. Army.
Okay.
So a lot of these stories.
Yeah, I'm sure his name's not Doctor.
You think it's just Mr. Thorne?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Well, if you're looking at the Army records and you go, Dr. Thorne. Yeah, his name's not Doctor.
Well,
it's Richard.
I mean, fair. So this story is questionable. Again, the point I'm trying to make here is a lot of these stories are very questionable stories.
Sure.
A lot of people have gone looking for this mine.
Okay.
And they've died. But they probably died because it's a national park in a desert that is dangerous.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe some of them got murdered, but honestly, people get killed in national parks all the time. That's what murderers frequent national parks. That's one of their hot spots, they're
okay.
They hang out at those places.
What point are you making right now?
What I'm trying to say here is I don't know if there is a Lost Dutchman mine. There's this I don't know. There's some believers who really believe that it's out there somewhere. There's a mine hidden in the Superstition Mountains that you can find and get rich off of. But a lot of these stories, they seem like legend. And a lot of these deaths, they seem like happenstance. And one of the more significant parts of this is throughout the region, there's a bunch of gold mines.
Sure.
Like a bunch of gold mines. And so there's a pretty good chance that if this was in the 1840s, that this guy found this mine, that
it's just one of those ones we already know about.
Yeah, that he died. And when he died, maybe no one knew about it. Or maybe he was just sneaking into some other random mine and nabbing some gold off the top. Which I guess I don't know how gold mines work. But he's just flaking off a little bit of... When I worked at that candy factory and I just cast some candy, off the... You know what I'm talking about?
What candy factory did you work at?
I worked for a week at Mountain Man Fruit and Nut Co. in Parker, Colorado.
And they fired you?
Yeah, they fired me.
Because you were stealing candy off the top.
No, for a different reason. But they
I don't think you can just gloss over that.
Yeah, I don't think... That's not one of those things you can just say and go,
I got fired for a different reason.
But it was a thing.
Well, I was at work one day and a reporter showed up. And they were like, who do you sell the most candy to? And I said, I'll never tell. And it became this whole big thing. And I let it play out for a little bit. And then the owner was like, tell him you're joking.
Go.
And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then they fired me.
Yeah. No, they had a policy where before it got into packaging, you could eat as much candy as you wanted.
That's not true.
If it made it into packaging, you couldn't eat it.
Is that what you thought the policy was?
That was legitimately the policy. Everybody did it. And so most people would just walk by the conveyor belts, and every time they walk by the conveyor belts and just catch some chocolate and eat the chocolate.
There's no way that was their policy.
I mean, that was their policy. It probably wasn't okay, but...
There's not a chance. There's no way that was their policy.
I mean, it wasn't a huge company. I mean, it was a decent sized company, but it wasn't a huge company, But the reason I got fired is because Isaiah got me the job.
Okay.
And his boss was like, "Hey, I'm looking for some extra help." I was 17, and he was looking for some extra help. It was over the summer, and so I get the job, and then. They didn't I got the job. There's 4 other people who got the job at the same time as me, and they're all adults. They're all real people. I wasn't yet. And they all went through training. They learned how to use everything. And for me, they were just I don't know, go do whatever Isaiah needs your help with. And so I did that for the first day. And then the second day, they were like, hey, we own the lot next door. And it was overgrown with weeds. It was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 acres. And the weeds were as tall as me, 6-foot weeds. And he was like, we got this fine from the county for having this too overgrown. Can you cut down all the weeds? And so they gave me a weed whacker, but it was broken.
At an hourly rate?
Yeah, but it was a broken weed whacker. And it took me a week to weed whack this giant field with this broken weed whacker. I'm just sitting there and I got it all weed whacked. And then they fired me.
What you just described is crime. What you just described is someone taking advantage of a 17-year-old employee. That's
what I'm saying. They hired me because they got that fine and they didn't have anyone else to do it. And then they were like, okay, yeah. And so they just had me take it down. And then once I finished it, they fired me and they told me it was because I was working too slow. But that was the only thing I did the whole time I was there. And they never even they never trained me. They never gave me a warning. But I was too young to advocate for myself. I didn't understand. It was literally the first job I ever got hired for.
Yeah, what you just described is illegal. So that was fun.
Yeah, but I got free candy out of it for a week.
You come in. Here's why you got fired. Let me tell you why you got fired. Because you were out there weed eating, right? And at the time, you could eat as much as you wanted.
I was as long as it doesn't go in packaging, you can eat it.
No, so you're out there
he's sitting
clearing
in his office
this lot.
He's sitting in his office watching me out the window, and he's like,
is that kid eating the...
I told him to cut down on the grass.
Weed eater.
I told him to weed eat, and he's eating every individual weed. No wonder this is taking him so long.
They should not have passed the marijuana stuff out here. These kids are idiots.
That was pre-weed.
No, I'm saying that you were out there doing all this weed stuff. Not. Listener, please don't get confused.
You
were clearing their lot or whatever.
Yeah.
So you come in, dirty, gross hands. This is why you got fired. And you go, it's policy.
We're allowed to take whatever candy we want.
You put a blindfold on, and then you sat at the end of the conveyor belt and just... And then you're just walking around, stumbling into the wall.
All their Amazon reviews said, yeah, I got the chocolate was good, but there's like dandelion leaves all over my...
That's why you got fired.
You might be right. I mean, they told me it was because I was slow. That's what they told me. Here's the thing, though. Here's what's even better. I was one of... I think 4 or 5 friends that Isaiah got a job for at that, and every single friend that got a job got fired within a week under similar circumstances. So I think it was literally like a weird job will pop up and be like, just get one of Isaiah's friends.
Yeah, 100%. Sketchy. Yeah, are we done with the episode?
I don't remember. I think there was something else I wanted to
Did you bring up a whole thing just to tell me 2 stories that you're like, they're probably made up?
There was something else I wanted to say about this. I swear. Maybe not.
I would love to. We started a true crime podcast a while ago. We did. And we didn't follow through on it because you're dumb.
Well, because my mother-in-law thought we were going to get killed by the cartel.
That actually is true why we had to stop. Because we were worried about...
We ruffled some feathers.
We were worried about stumbling into some stuff that maybe we weren't prepared to stumble into. But now we're prepared to.
Yeah, now we've been practicing.
I think we should, 1, release some of that true crime podcast.
I'm okay with that.
And then 2, we should become treasure hunters and go find this thing.
Treasure hunting, a true treasure podcast.
Sure.
True treasure. That's 2. That doesn't fall off the tongue.
Doesn't at all. Well. I'm glad you realized it before I had to shut your ideas down.
But here's the moral of the story. The mine probably got mined by someone who found it. And now everyone's out here looking for it, and it doesn't exist anymore because it's a mine. Like, it's not lost. Like, they found it and they've mined it. And those clay things, probably not related. Probably just stuff from something else. So if you are in a national park somewhere and you find some clay tablets with scribbles all over it and stuff written in other languages and pictures, and a dude whose head has been removed from his body and is 2 miles away with holes in it, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
No. Or start a podcast and go find it. As we're going to.
That's fair. Well, I guess that's all I have to say about the Lost Dutchman Mine.
Okay, cool. I keep trying to think of podcast titles for what this is going to be, but for now, it's called Fiddle Off.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment to outweigh all the grifters. And then we've got playlists on the screen. You can watch new videos if you haven't seen them. We have a massive back catalog, so you should go check them out. If you want to become a patron, you can go to TILLN.com to do that, or buy our merch, whatever you want. Just thanks for being here. We appreciate you.